Hello, my name's Andy Brassell and I'll be here throughout the season on Guardian Football talking about the best of La Liga in twice weekly updates. Don't forget to click to subscribe, and for this week, these are my 5 things to look out for in the La Liga programme. Now, Real Madrid need a bit of a personnel shuffle before the first La Liga Madrid derby of the season, which is coming up at the weekend. They're saying in the Madrid press that it's the battle to who's going to be number 9 between Karim Benzema, the man in possession, and Javier Hernandez, who's just arrived on loan from Manchester United, of course. Now, there's no sense that that's a real battle just yet. Of course, it will be Benzema against Atletico in this big game, but it's interesting to see how he'll react to a little bit of competition. Elsewhere, the questions deal with injuries. The fact that Carvajal got injured on international duty, so they're probably going to have to draft Arbeloa into the right back spot. That's something that Atletico will be having a keen little look at. Also the fact that Asier Mendy could have a chance in midfield with Sami Khedira being injured, of course. But the big question is about Cristiano Ronaldo. The good news for Real Madrid fans is that he touched the ball for the first time in a couple of weeks in training on Tuesday. Now, there's an interesting piece of research released this week by the Spanish sports paper Estadio Deportivo. Interesting because it was a table of the amount of points collected by La Liga's team since the first weekend of February. And interestingly enough, it wasn't Atletico, Barcelona or Real Madrid top, it was Sevilla with 35 points since the first weekend of February. Of course, Estadio Deportivo, you might like to know, is a Sevilla-based sports paper, and obviously it's a subjective, although quite long, sample period. Also interestingly, Rayo Vallecano, who you might remember were our little tip to maybe do something interesting this season, are 6th in that table, but beware Espanyol. If you take away the 3 promoted clubs who've only just started collecting La Liga points, of course, they are bottom. Now, it was a mixed week for the Spanish national team after a pretty toothless display in Paris on Thursday night whilst losing to France. They came back at the Ciutat de Valencia on Tuesday night, hammering Macedonia. And interestingly, amongst the goal scorers were Paco Alcácer of Valencia, who was starting his first game for the national team. He was very impressive. And also Pedro of Barcelona. Interesting, of course, because Fernando Torres is set to make his comeback at the top, debuting for Milan this coming weekend. And you might wonder what his chances of getting back into Vicente del Bosque's squad are. Not great, in my opinion, because not just Paco Alcácer coming through, Munir, the teenager from Barcelona, coming on as sub, so he's definitely with Spain and not Morocco, who he also qualified for. But of course, we've got Diego Costa and Alvaro Negredo, who are currently injured and weren't involved against Macedonia. So even if Torres has an exceptional season, it's a very, very long way back. Now, Pedro Leon, him of being emasculated by Jose Mourinho in press conference fame while at Real Madrid, no, not the only one, is in even more of a fix at Getafe now. He's in a position which is perilously close, I suppose, to constructive dismissal. He's been not registered for Getafe's squad because including him after he refused to take a wage cut, which the president Angel Torres asked him to do, he would have broken their wage cap of 17 million euros. So in that sense, he can't play, he's not been transferred, and he can't really do anything until January at the earliest. Now, the league said he couldn't break his contract. Now, it's been taken to the Superior Sports Court by the Players' Union, and they're going to have a look at it in the next 15 days. So fingers crossed for Pedro Leon, he'll be able to get out of his contract and move on, because it's a situation that's very difficult for anyone at the moment, and Getafe are determined not to yield. Now, there was always the question of how Celta would secure the future. After the departure of Luis Enrique, they really needed to lock it down, and that's why they got in Eduardo Berizzo, who used to play for them, of course, as coach. And they've also got that sort of security that they've accelerated in the last couple of weeks and over this international break. They've now got 15 players in their first team squad who are signed for at least the next 4 years. They've all got contracts that have at least 10 million buyout clauses as well. So if they were to leave, Celta would still get paid. It was a process started by Nolito, their star player, signing a new contract till 2019 in the summer, and now Borja Fernandez and Hugo Malo have got involved. So a very bright looking future for them as well, after having started the season so well. Okay, so those are my 5 things to look out for in La Liga this weekend. What are yours? Tell us in the comments section below. Obviously the Madrid derby will be in the forefront of a lot of minds. Of course, tell us what you think about the predicament of Pedro Leon and how Celta are building for the future as well, or just anything you fancy talking about. Really, don't forget to click to subscribe. Also, there are great videos elsewhere on Guardian Football about Liga, the Bundesliga and Serie A, so get involved with those, and I will see you after the weekend to discuss the best of what happened.